I think he's just kind of hitting his stride on sort of who he wants to be as a pitcher. I think that there's a lot more clarity, freedom, and so I think that we're seeing that with his execution, with all of his pitches, and so he's really freed up. And so even kind of coming into the ballpark today with there's a focus, but a relaxation about him. So I think he's energized, and I think he's going to build off that last start.
With how the rotation is set up, how much value does it bring having him on the back end of the rotation, especially when you have like a younger player like Roki in the middle, and just kind of how it just sets not only the bullpen but the rotation into a good spot?
I think we've done a really good job of kind of staggering or forming our rotation order with the left, right, having people around Roki. Certainly, even today on a getaway day, to have to face Tyler in a day game is not too enjoyable for hitters. So expect him to, pitch well, go deep, and our bullpen's in a really good spot right now. And certainly the start last night or yesterday was very helpful for that from Roki as well. But yeah, with the rotation, pitching, we're in a good spot.
So Wednesday is a choice between spot starter and bullpen game?
Pretty much.
How much of a choice is it? You got that in your mind?
That's kind of, we got some good thoughts, but yeah, we got some thoughts.
Does it depend on how the bullpen's
That's part of the math, yeah. Just kind of seeing how we go the next couple of days, yeah.
All right, today's going to be just the second time Tyler Glasnow's ever pitched at Citizens Bank Park. It's his first start there, D-Trent. I know you made 8 starts there, so what's the key to pitching well in that ballpark?
Keep the crowd out of it and do not allow the Phillies to hit the long ball. Make them manufacture some at-bats against you. Very important, but also equalize the left-handed power that they have. Make sure you throw inner half, make them honor it, and throw that nasty breaking ball down in the zone to get some ground balls. Be efficient.
Absolutely, and no free passes. Command that strike zone.
All right, Dodgers trying to take 2 out of 3 in Philadelphia. The series finale is coming up. Joe and EK have the call. Take it away, guys. We will see you right here after the game.
All right, John, they've packed their Dodger gear. They've packed their long sleeves. Frigid day, relatively speaking, here in Philadelphia. Low 50s as the Dodgers and Phillies wrap up this 3-game series in a rubber match. Joe Davis, Eric Karros, Kirsten Watson joins us in a bit. Phillies took the first game on Friday. Dodgers answered back 3-1 yesterday.
Yeah, another comeback win for the Dodgers. Dodgers have had 7 of those this year. Now, 6 of them have been from 2 runs or less, so it's not like they're coming back from 5 or 6, although they did do that against the Braves. One of the reasons they've been able to do that, though, is because the bullpen has been great and the starting pitching has been pretty good as well.
All right, speaking of the starting pitching, it was Sasaki yesterday, his best start. Tyler Glasnow goes today. He looked really good in his season debut last week.
Oh, he certainly did. 8 strikeouts against the Atlanta Braves. Was landing the curveball a little more often than he had in the past. Threw the fastball as well. Look for this matchup. Schwarber, Harper, and Trey Turner, the big 3 for the Phillies. 6 for 31 with 15 strikeouts against Glasnow.
Tyler Glasnow for the Dodgers. Christopher Sanchez for the Phillies. A pair of all-stars from last year. Good way for this fun series to wrap up. It's the rubber match between the Dodgers and the Phils, and it comes up next on Sportsnet LA. All right, great way to get this ball game started. Dave Roberts, Dodgers, and the Philadelphia Phillies playing the final game of this 3-game series. It has lived up to the hype with the team splitting the first 2 games. And the Dodgers have only scored 5 runs in the 2 games. They've all come off home runs, and that's been the way they've gotten the bulk of their runs this year. 2/3 of their runs almost have come via the long ball. Yesterday was Kike Hernandez with a 2-run shot, Michael Conforto with a solo shot, and a 3-1 comeback win for LA after the Phillies took the first game 3-2. So we're ready for the final game, and the lineup for the Dodgers, presented by your Southern California helpful Honda dealers, has Ohtani leading off, and then Mookie Betts and Tommy Edman. Teoscar Hernandez bats clean up. Will Smith had yesterday off, but he's back in there doing the catching and hitting 5th. In left field, it's Michael Conforto. Max Muncy's at 3rd. He went into yesterday's game with 3 hits overall this year, and then had 3 hits yesterday alone. Kike Hernandez, of course, at first base and hitting 8th. And Andy Pages in center field batting 9th to round things out for the Dodgers. And you were talking about it during the pregame show. Really, both these lineups today, Glasnow, Sanchez, the pitcher, is going to have their hands full. Sanchez, 28 years old, and has made what Rob Thompson, his manager, calls one of the greatest transformations he's ever seen. 2 years in the big leagues, going back and forth between here and AAA, had all kinds of power, no idea where it was going. He had a 5.74 ERA in those 2 seasons. The last 2+ years, EK, he's top 5 in the National League.
Yeah, and really it's been about control. I mean, those first couple of years, as you mentioned, up and down, he was starting, he was coming out of the pen. The strikeout to walk ratio was not great, but really in the last year and a half, 2 years, he has been dynamite. And it'll be interesting today. You mentioned Dodgers are scoring a lot of their runs on home runs. This man has given up 1 home run this year, but through June of last year, it only given up 1 home run. So something's going to give today.
Yeah, one of the highest ground ball rates in baseball. Ohtani stands in. Dodgers at 9-1, the Phillies at 6-2. Off we go, a swing and a miss, and 96 from Christopher Sanchez. So he's an all-star last year, has that breakout season, then he adds 20 pounds this winter, and his fastball's up 2 miles per hour from what it averaged last year and 4 miles an hour from what it was 2 years ago. Showed off that stuff against the Rockies in his season debut on Monday, going 5 1/3, giving up just 1 run. Beat the Dodgers twice last year. Fires 0-2 and misses away. This is the pitch mix against LA last year.
Yeah, see, really just a sinker changeup guy would mix in the slider. The difference this year, especially with that sinker against right-handed hitters, is he's starting it at their hip. And it's breaking over the plate. Oh, man.
Gets Ohtani on strikes to open the ball game.
This is lefty on lefty change, and you see that thing isn't running away. That's staying in. It's a great location, though, down out of the zone.
Philadelphia. The Dodgers have a 2-0 lead over the Phillies and a home run from Teoscar Hernandez. And they've got the top of the lineup coming up and a late rain beginning to fall. Kind of a mist settling over Citizens Bank Park here. So ponchos coming out. Sanchez to Ohtani. Struck him out quickly his first time. Struck out the first 2 hitters that he faced, Ohtani and Betts, and it was like, uh-oh, this might be a long day. And then Hernandez got him with that 2-out homer. Other than 2.
Much like the first at-bat, Sanchez got ahead of Shohei 0-2.
Breakout season last year and a new extension. The lefty's 1-2 pitch. Oh, baby. With Marchand being set up inside, didn't get the call there.
Yeah, definitely got a lot of plate, but as you mentioned, the target had to move from one side of the plate to the other.
So from 0-2 to 2-2, and strike 3. A lefty-lefty change. Same way that he finished him off the first time.
Yeah, you mentioned it, Joe, the lefty-lefty change. This one up in the zone. First at-bat was down out of the zone, even bounced, but Shohei unable to pick that pitch up.
Top of the order for the Dodgers, a strike on Ohtani. He was struck out both times against Sanchez. Six total Ks for Sanchez, and through 2 starts, his strikeout rate double what it was in his breakout season last year. As good as he was last year, the strikeout rate was still below Major League average. It was mostly about the weak contact, the ground balls. But he's added velocity to everything moving a little bit more. They think a sneaky Cy Young candidate.
Certainly on the right team to do so, right? He's going to get some support offensively. It's a good team. Everything's going to be meaningful. Can kind of fly under the radar behind Zach Wheeler, who you could argue is probably been the best starter the last few years collectively.
Pretty good piece to his resume right there. He strikes out Ohtani for a third time.
Third time and all 3 times swinging. And he's been inside. First two times he went lefty on lefty changeup. That one he just barrels a sinker in on the hands at 97. Job by Paz, just flipping that ball out there to right center, staying on that thing. So important for him to get on base just because you've got Ohtani and Betts following, and you look on the flip side, Marchand of the Phillies today has walked twice, turned over the lineup. Pages trying to do a little of the same.
Shohei happy to have Sanchez out of the game. Struck out all 3 times against him. And in this series, 1 for 10, 5 Ks. 3 home runs on the season for Ohtani. On this 1-0 pitch, swings and misses. Had one to hit right there. The 1-1. Checks his swing, laid off, and he's ahead 2-1. Always a big swing pitch right there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Those check swings shifts the count in the hitter's favor right here. It was borderline.
Wow.
On this 2-1, Ohtani watches it take off. Ball 3. Trailed this game 6-2. All 6 runs for the Phillies, if you happen to just be tuning in, came in the 3rd inning. Table was set with 4 walks, and then a grand slam from Nick Castellanos. The 3-1 fouls it off, and the count is full. The payoff. Ball 4. Tying run aboard and nobody out in the 7th. Romano, who has yet to make a good impression on these Phillies fans, is hearing it. Ryan Kerkering gets ready. And Mookie Betts comes to the plate.
Romano just trying to pick it up real quickly.
Well, this roller coaster of a game comes down to the 9th inning, and Jose Alvarado, who 2 years ago was one of the best relievers in baseball, had a 1.74 ERA. That ballooned above 4 last year. On to face Ohtani in the top of the Dodger lineup. Ohtani pops the first pitch out of play. Alvarado, a few scoreless outings to open his season, but then in his last game, gave up a run against Colorado on 3 hits and a walk. So he is gettable. Although when he's right, good luck. He has struck out 10 of the 18 hitters that he's faced this year. Is 0-1 to Ohtani. Grounded softly at first base, Harper to get Ohtani. So Shohei 0 for 4 today, and the Phillies hold him to a 1 of 11 this weekend.
You know, Alvarado set up on the first base side of the rubber. So for a left-handed hitter, it almost looks like he's throwing from behind you. Again, you got that cutter.
Speaking of having an immediate impact, I suppose, Shohei Ohtani throwing another bullpen session with the Dodgers yesterday. Do we have a timeline maybe for his return to the mound?
Yeah, Shay, I think we have to remember the Dodgers are looking at Ohtani pitching through the prism of let's get him ready for October. So he threw those 25 pitches yesterday. He'll continue to ramp up very slowly. I think if you see him pitching in a major league game in late June, that would be about the right time. If they get 10 to 15 starts and he throws 50 to 60 innings, they'd be thrilled with that, especially if he's healthy at year's end and is ready to pitch in October.
Yeah, I mean, again, with the luxuries that the Dodgers have, they are in absolutely no rush to get him back. Yeah. Time for your best and bust of the week. I love that. Okay, there is a team in the NL West off to a very hot start. It is not the Dodgers. Who's standing out to you?
Meanwhile, Jay, well, we know it's already been showtime at the plate, but what about on the mound? Shohei Ohtani throwing 26-pitch bullpen session yesterday before their game. The next step towards his return to the mound after right elbow surgery in September of 23. His second bullpen session since resuming his ramp up to pitching again, also threw in the pen on March 29th. Yeah.
壮絶な一戦が幕を閉じた。世界最高峰 MLB の名門ドジャース。その主役はやはりこの男、大谷翔平だった。球場を埋め尽くす熱狂的なファンの視線は、ただ一人、二刀流の革命児、大谷翔平の一挙手一投足に釘付けとなった。快晴のロサンゼルス、陽光に照らされたドジャースタジアムは、まるで歴史が動く瞬間を待ち望んでいるかのように高揚感に包まれていた。今シーズン、数々の試練を乗り越え、打率268という数字以上の衝撃を与え続けている王や、その規格外の能力と人並み外れた精神力は、もはや彼が歩んできた道そのものが一つの伝説となっている。だがこの日の対戦相手も決して甘くはない。相手投手陣は大谷を完全に封じ込めるべく、徹底的な研究を重ねてきていた。ドジャースにとって負けられない戦い、大谷にとっても自らの進化を示す重要な一戦。スタジアム全体が息を飲み、期待と緊張で異様な空気に満ちていた。その中、一回表の大谷は最初の打席に立った。相手ピッチャーがマウンドで鋭い視線を送り、観客の歓声が静まり返る。最初の一球は外角低めへの鋭い速球。大谷のスイングが豪快に空を切った。だが、続く2球目、3球目も相手の巧妙な配球術によって追い込まれ、惜しくも凡退。大谷にとっては悔しい初打席となったが、彼の闘志はまだ消えていなかった。チームメイトが次々とヒットを放ち、ドジャースは着実に流れをつかんでいく。そして4回裏、大谷に2度目のチャンスが巡ってきた。今度こそ、そのバットが炸裂するのか、観客は祈るような気持ちで彼の打席を見守った。しかし、相手バッテリーの巧妙な攻めが再び大谷を襲い、彼は内野ゴロに倒れる。さらに6回の第3打席、再び相手の緻密な配球に屈し、外野フライ。ここまでの大谷は、相手投手陣の執念の前に打つてなく苦しんだ。だが、大谷翔平という男の魅力は、ただヒットやホームランだけにとどまらない。試合が佳境を迎え、ドジャースが逆転を狙い、チームが彼の力を必要としたとき、彼の真の輝きが現れるのだ。そしてその瞬間は、8回裏に訪れた。ここまで0-4という結果に終わっている大谷にとって、最後の打席が訪れたのだ。重苦しい空気の中、彼が打席に向かうだけで、スタジアムが一気に生気を取り戻し、割れんばかりの拍手と歓声が沸き起こった。この絶対的ヒーローに球場全体が希望を託した。静寂と歓声が交錯する奇妙な空間。初球が内角をつく厳しいコースに投げ込まれ、大谷のバットが激しく振り抜かれた。ボールは快音を立てて高々と宙を舞う。誰もがホームランを確信し立ち上がるが、あとわずか数メートル届かず、惜しくもフェンス手前でキャッチされてしまった。大谷は悔しさをにじませながらも、力強くベンチへと戻っていった。ここまで来ると、試合にヒットがなくとも、彼の闘争心と諦めない姿勢こそが観衆を魅了し、彼が球界を牽引する真のヒーローであることを証明する。結局、この日はヒットなしの0-4という結果で終わったが、大谷が放った気迫に満ちたスイング一つ一つは、相手チームをも戦慄させるほどの迫力があった。ドジャースはこの日、打線全体の奮起によって勝利をつかみ、大谷もその重要な役割を担った。試合後、チームメイトたちは彼を絶賛した。翔平がいるからこそ、 チームは勝利への執念を持てる。彼が打席に立つだけで流れが変わる。とコメントした主砲フリーマンの言葉が全てを物語っている。監督ロバーツも、ヒットの数ではなく、彼の存在感がチームの士気を高めている。と彼の功績を称えた。このように、数字だけでは測れない価値を持つのが大谷翔平だ。さらに、試合後に行われた記者会見では、大谷自身も堂々とした態度で、チームメイトへの感謝を述べ、次こそは自分の役割を果たしたい。必ず結果を出します。と力強く語った。その真摯な姿勢と前向きなコメントは、ファンの心をつかみ、すでに次の試合への期待感を高めている。シーズンはまだ続く。この日の大谷が放ったすべてのスイング、すべての打席が次への伏線となり、次戦でのさらなる爆発を予感させる。やはり、この男から目が離せない。全世界を魅了し続ける二刀流の主砲、大谷翔平の伝説は、まだ始まったばかりだ。